This is the mandrake plant, or the mandragora. Yes, that mandragora.
Mandrake, or mandragora, is used to return those who've been petrified to their original state. It's also quite dangerous. The mandrake's cry is fatal to anyone who hears it.
Not only is the mandrake plant a real plant whose roots are said to look like a human, but the mandragora is both a magic medicine, but also something that if you hear its cries, it will kill you. That's not a Harry Potter thing. Turns out the mandrake plant is a very powerful drug. Time for a unique disclaimer. I will be actually doing a lot of these substances on camera right now, and this is for education, so I do not condone anyone to do this at all, please. And I'm not just saying this to save my ass. Some of these are actually quite addictive. Some of these are deadly in the wrong doses. Some of these you could have an allergic reaction to and you could die, so don't do this. But, and this is where the disclaimer is a tad weird, everything I'm doing is 100% legal where I live and potentially where you do as well. And alongside that, a lot of these plants have been done for almost over 1,000 years by different people. And so they could be potentially better alternatives for people who, let's say, drink alcohol or smoke nicotine or do actual illicit drugs like MDMA or cocaine. We're gonna talk about alternatives. They're weird. But to be clear, don't do any of it. A few weeks back, I picked up these. I picked them up because they were interesting. They looked like magic mushroom products, and this one even just says Shrooms, but the person at the smoke shop assured me, no, these are 100% legal. And when I took them home, I realized that he was right. The packaging was very clear that they had no psilocybin, or magic mushrooms, in them. So then, what the fuck are in these? Turns out, it's the Mario mushroom.
I'd like to introduce you to our first guest this evening, Miss Amanita Muscaria. She's big, she's beautiful, and
kind of crazy. Not too much, kind of like Doja Cat. Fun, but definitely like a little bit crazy. Now, if you're like me, your first thought was probably, wait, aren't those supposed to be toxic? And the answer is kind of. On the one hand, yes, in a lot of mushroom guides, Amanita is written down as being poisonous or toxic because it can make you puke, it can make you nauseous, it can make you disoriented, but a key thing to remember is that so can alcohol. And this is gonna come up a lot. One man's poison is another man's pleasure, and it really depends on how familiar people are with the substance or the plant. If you take too much nicotine, you're gonna puke. If you drink too much coffee, you're gonna have a panic attack. So pleasures can also be poisons, and that's kind of the case with Amanita muscaria. And actually, using it is not new. Across Europe, many civilizations use it as a sacred ritual or as just a general intoxicant for hundreds, if not thousands of years. And the more I went down the rabbit hole, I found out that we're in like a revival of it right now. There's countless videos with millions of views about it. There's people like Amanita Dreamer who dedicate an entire channel about how it saved her life and how it helps her with benzo addiction and so many other things. But weirdly enough, there's not a lot of information about what it feels like. On Reddit there is, but there's like really conflicting reports. Some people say, oh, I use it every night to sleep and it's really relaxing. And then some people are like, oh my God, I was tripping balls. I saw my third eye open. Like, what? So I guess it's time to try it. Now I could just do these gummies, but honestly, you have no idea what's in these. I made a post about it on Reddit and everyone was unanimously like, yeah, don't do that. They could be research chemicals. It could be literally anything. So I ended up just getting the real stuff. They're so gorgeous. Oh my God, so pretty. And fun fact about these, you actually cannot cultivate them. You cannot grow them in a house. You can't grow them on a farm. They have to be wild foraged, and there's a lot of nerdy reasons why, but it's cool. You have to find someone who went out into the forest and found these growing naturally. What I'm going to be doing is making a tea with these. You can just eat them if they're prepared right, but I'm a nerd and I don't like eating shit like this. 7 grams, and we boil. I actually did this whole nerdy thing where I dropped the pH down to 3, boiled it for 3 hours to decarboxylate all the ibotenic acid to muscimol. You don't need to do all that. Just as long as you get already decarboxylated dried fruit, then you're fine. Just make a tea for 30 minutes, you're good. We now have 300 milliliters of 7 grams. Ooh, it doesn't smell good. It doesn't smell tasty. This is around a 1 gram dose. It's a very little amount of liquid. Cheers. Not too bad. Not too bad. It's not good, but it's a little, acidic because of the citric acid. Okay, it has been 30 minutes and I am, it's kind of nice. I feel insanely relaxed. Like I took a lot of melatonin. I feel very like at peace. My body feels like completely just oof. I don't think I feel any negative side effects. I don't think I feel like any nausea or like twitching or any of the stuff I was reading about. I feel all right. It's kind of nice. Kind of nice. I'll report back in another 30 minutes. It has been an hour since I drank it, and yeah, I feel about the same. I feel very, very relaxed. I'm ready for sleep. It's nice. Okay, it has been a week of me trying this stuff, and here's what I have to report. For one, low doses are pretty amazing for sleep. I'm gonna be honest. You sleep really well. You sometimes wake up groggy the next day, but it feels very similar to like benzodiazepines, like Xanax type. It just like relaxes you, all anxiety gone. Your body just feels like blech. It's kind of like alcohol, but not as like euphoric. I gave it to some friends. Everyone kind of reported back the same thing. I will say, when you do a lot, which I did, wouldn't recommend that. It's not a bad experience. I can see how some people might like it, but it's really intense, and it also is like almost like flipped on its head. Like it goes from helping you sleep to like, holy shit, I feel like really strong and energized, but also sleepy. And then like, if I say like one more time, I'm gonna smack myself. You start to have like these like muscle twitches, and I know it's gonna sound weird. It feels like the flu, but kind of fun. You don't know what temperature it is in the room. This is all just what I experienced. I took way too much one night, and it was just like a lot. But as far as like a sleep aid and just kind of something to have on your shelf, like an all natural option to help sleep, it's kind of cool. It's a good option. While making this video, I expected to find a couple weird off plant drugs around the world that I'd never heard of, but what I was shocked to find out was that there's a ton. Betel Nut, Salvia, Wild Dogga, Morning Glory, Nutmeg. Yeah, nutmeg. Ghost Pipe, Passion Flower, Blue Lotus, Iboga, Mulungu, the Ephedra plant, which was the inspiration for meth. The more I read, the more I realized that getting high is much more of a human thing than I thought. And it's not even just humans. Elephants like to get drunk, cats like catnip. Turns out wallabies like heroin. I mean, it's opium, but it's damn near the same thing. The point is, no matter where or when you are in human history, you're going to find people getting high because it's natural to us. And the really cool thing I found out is that alcohol is not the default. So, fun fact about me, I don't drink alcohol. It's not a religious thing, it's not a moral thing, I just don't like the way it tastes, and I don't really like the way it feels either. And I always thought that I was weird for that, but turns out there's plenty of civilizations that did not use alcohol or didn't prefer it. They preferred other things. Sorry, next day meta here, and don't mind the sexy 5 o'clock shadow. Among these is the Pacific Island drug, Kava. Now hold on, I can hear some of you in the comments.
It's not a drug, it's a medicine.
Yes, but that argument can be very damaging, and we're gonna cover why a little bit later with Kratom. Now while we talk about Kava, let's make some. Kava is a very good case study when it comes to different cultures encountering other cultures' drugs of choice. You see, in the early 2000s, a lot of Western cultures like Australia, Canada, Germany banned Kava because it was a drug. Come on. We just have to sit here for about 15 minutes and knead it. Now, why Kava is so perfect at explaining this whole cultural phenomenon that happens with drugs, the active chemicals in Kava, kavalactones, actually act somewhat similar to alcohol and feel very similar to getting drunk. Everyone was saying, well, we don't know if it's bad for you. We don't know if it's bad for, I think there was concerns about the liver or something like that, right? Kava has been done for hundreds, if not thousands of years. So there's your case study. And two, when you actually study it, even though it feels similar to alcohol, it's actually probably much safer for you. It's actually recently become a bit of a thing to make alcohol substitutes for recovering alcoholics or people who are addicted to benzos or anything to drink Kava instead because it's easier on your body. It's not necessarily as addictive. And to cut you off, many Kava users are thinking right now, actually Kava's non-addictive. It's not less addictive, it's not addictive. I disagree. It's not addictive is a very common plant drug argument that a lot of people say about, Amanita Muscaria or Kava or, perfect example, cannabis. I'm not judging anyone for using any of these, obviously, but let me spin you a riddle. If one were to puff on something in order to eat, in order to sleep, in order to socially function, and they do it every single day, what shall we call that? Vitamin dependency? Again, there's really nothing wrong with enjoying things. Coffee, many of us are addicted to, and there's nothing wrong with being addicted to it. But I'm just saying this whole, it's not technically addiction, it's just not a good argument. And it also leads a lot of people who have serious, like let's say benzo or alcohol addictions, down this route of thinking, oh, I can do Kava every day because it's not technically addictive. Yet they get addicted and then they have withdrawal syndromes and blah, blah, blah. You understand my point? Okay, it has been 15 minutes, and this is where I have a confession for you. This is not the first time doing Kava for me. This is actually my 8th time. Never worked, not once. I've tried different brands, I've bought it at the store, I've drinking an insane amount of it, added fat, used heat, didn't use heat, did it for an hour, let it steep. I've tried it all. Nothing. I mean nothing. So this time, I mean this is a lot. This is a lot. Oh my God, that's, the flavor is really bad. It's just not my thing. Other thing is you get a numbness. Your mouth starts to go numb. It's like a little bit of lidocaine feeling. It's not that strong, but make it a little bit sweet. That might be better. Oh, it's not better. I'm late to a jam session, so we're gonna chug this, report back to you in about an hour and a half. Oh, my tum-tum. I'm gonna regret this. It really does make me want to puke. Okay. Okay, hold on. Chill. Chill, Meta. Okay. Okay. Hold on, I'm hanging out with friends. I am feeling it, finally. I'm drunk. I'm gonna go take a piss. I'm gonna do that, man. Oh my fucking God. Hi. It's the next day. Kava works. So what does Kava feel like? I would say it's like a diet alcohol. It's not as euphoric as alcohol, and you don't get quite as stupid, but it's pretty close. Like I just felt like being drunk as hell without like being super dumb. Final note about Kava, please remember to pay it a lot of respect. The Pacific Island people have fought very hard to have it not banned, and it's also very deep and ceremonial and cultural, so just keep that in mind when you do it. Now it's time to try potentially the most controversial plant drug right now, Kratom. What we will need is a scale, Kratom, and important things about sourcing Kratom. Don't get extracts, and there's a lot of reasons why. Also, don't tend to go to smoke shops. Go to online stores because a lot of smoke shops don't have good stuff. It's not consistent, a lot of things. There's a lot of great vendors out there. Just look it up, go on Reddit. A juice of your choice or a soda, and something to mix it. You can mix it with a fork, it doesn't really matter. First step for me is to get a scale, and weigh out for me personally, I do 3.5 to 4 grams. But I wanna make clear I am not suggesting this dose to anyone. And this is not just like a, ooh, safety YouTube guidelines, whatever. It's about also, this can vary wildly from vendor to vendor, species, whatever. And on top of that, this dose for me or my girlfriend or some of my family members is fine, it's perfect for us. I just had a friend, he did the same amount and he passed out. He like got nauseous, he just had a terrible time. So it really depends on your body chemistry, and this is really the case with everything. After you have your amount, put it in the cup, add the juice, and finally, stir. It's very foamy right now. Ugh. Finally, we drink. Cheers. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ugh. It's bitter. Very bitter. It's not that bad, but it's not fun. It's definitely easier to drink than alcohol, I'll tell you that. As the Kratom starts to take effect on me, we're gonna talk about it. And warning, it's already been 20 minutes and I'm already starting to feel it. I'm going to start to maybe look a little different. You'll see. Kratom is native to Southeast Asia. Think of places like Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia, places like that. This is where the tree, the kratom tree, grows, and you can just pick the leaves, and many people chew on them. The exact history of kratom use is a little bit foggy, I'm gonna be honest, but it does go back generations, at least to the 19th century in Southeast Asia, and it's traditionally used as a leaf that you pick and then you just chew on, similar to the coca leaves of South America. Also similar to coca, a lot of the people who use it are actually manual laborers, and it helps you, weirdly enough, help with sedation and give you energy, so it can help you sleep and also not sleep. It's a very interesting substance. Okay, the effects are starting to kick in kind of strong right now. So right now what I feel is I'm kind of hot, kind of sweaty. I have a warm sensation over my entire body, very relaxing, a bit euphoric. I also feel very calm, very relaxed, not really bothered by much. To be honest, it's a very pleasant feeling, and this is where I have to speak about my bias. Kratom is actually my substance of choice. Because I don't drink alcohol or really smoke weed like that, when all my friends are partying and all that kind of stuff, I just don't participate, so kratom is usually my go-to, and it's also just, I like to relax with it sometimes at night. It's just, I've been using it for, I think, 3 or 4 years now, and it's a good thing, but I have to be careful. And this is where the controversy begins. All around the world right now, kratom is being banned. Many states have banned it, certain cities have banned it, many of the countries in the EU have banned it. Even where it grows natively in Southeast Asia, some nations have actually made it illegal. And the reason is, it feels too good. I know that might sound a little weird, but let me explain a little bit and let you decide for yourself, and I'll try to be non-biased. Let's begin with what I feel. It has been an hour and a half since I took kratom, and I'm feeling the effects about as strong as I'm going to. I might feel a little bit more. In my body, I feel relaxed, euphoric, warm, but a little itchy. Any aches and pain I might feel in my body are gone. In my head, I feel relaxed, zero anxiety, happy, and a little nauseous. My eyes are constricted very slightly. I also might be a little bit constipated. What do all these things sound like? It sounds like the typical effects of an opioid. Kratom acts on your opioid receptors, and that's making a lot of people very uncomfortable. Somewhat understandably, we are in the middle of an opioid crisis in America. Every year, more people are dying from overdose of opiates, and a lot of it due to fentanyl. And here comes this random tree from Southeast Asia that's an opioid, or it acts on your opioid receptors, and it's scaring people. And the other scary thing is that in my home state of Oregon and all over America where it's allowed, kratom has taken over the smoke shop culture. You go to any smoke shop and they're gonna say kratom sold here. Even in places that used to just sell vapes in Oregon I went to, they like almost only sell kratom because it's that lucrative. People are that addictive to it. As a kratom user, I have sympathy for the other side of people who are like, oh, we should ban it, because it is very euphoric and therefore very addictive, similar to nicotine and alcohol, but it's this new thing that people aren't adjusted yet. So it's scary. It's similar to Kava, that whole situation. But allow me, as a kratom user, to explain another perspective. 1, yes, we are in an opioid crisis, but that's actually precisely why we need kratom now more than ever. One of the most common use cases for kratom is actually for recovering addicts of opioids, fentanyl, heroin, to transition to kratom. Why? Well, it helps with withdrawals. You don't have to go to a Suboxone clinic necessarily, which is a huge pain for some. And this is the one we should all be happy about. You don't have to worry about getting your stuff cut with fentanyl and overdosing. Because kratom is legal, when you go to a reputable source and get kratom, you don't have to worry about it being cut with fentanyl and other stuff like you do if you're a user of perks or heroin and all that. 2, kratom is not the same thing as heroin and fentanyl. As someone who has done fentanyl, has done oxy, has done so many of them, I've been prescribed them for surgeries, that is not the same euphoria. Fentanyl euphoria, I was just given fentanyl for my nose, a deviated septum surgery. That stuff is insanely euphoric. You're just like, oh my God, everything's fine. Kratom is like 1/10 of that. It's like oh, this is nice. You know, it's very subtle. So let's not mince words. It's the same thing. It's not. It is not the same thing. Please be real. 3, my last point is a very political one, and it's the idea of paternalism. In America, both liberals and conservatives love to say that they are advocates for personal liberties. Liberals love to say, my body, my choice when it comes to abortion, and conservatives disagree, but then they'll say, my body, my choice when it comes to vaccines, or so many other things. They love to say, well, we're into personal liberties. It's our choice. We live in America and we're individuals. It's a very individualistic society. The idea of paternalism is that the government is going to be your daddy. The government will make decisions for you, taking away your decision, but it's in your best interest. Basically, the government knows best for you. Now, before you say, oh, I don't like that, I want to make my own decisions. Yes, but also think about seatbelts. Seatbelts is a great example of paternalism in a positive way. It makes all of us wear a seatbelt, and even though, yeah, it's our choice, it's just a bad choice not to wear a seatbelt. So just wear a seatbelt. And it works. So I have to ask you, and this is a very personal question, what do you think the government should decide? For me, I don't think that they should decide whether I get the choice to get drunk or do kratom or do nicotine or whatever. But to you, maybe your idea of a good government is that they do that. So it's up to you. Before we finish up, I do want to touch on the idea of extracts within kratom. I'm sure some of you came here to see me get fucked up, so let's go back to the other day when I tried one of these. Oh. It was nice, very nuanced flavor. It is 9:40, it's been 30 minutes, and I am too high. What I'm feeling is the same warmness and body euphoria and relaxation, but I'm like kind of confused, like, oh, hold on, younger Meta. It'll get much worse, I promise. Okay, it's been 5 more minutes. I'm getting way too high. This is pretty uncomfortable. I'm probably gonna puke tonight, honestly. 10 minutes later. Ooh, whoa.
Debunking King Neptune, this singular figure, embracing the truth of...
In conclusion, I didn't puke. I was fine. It was very unpleasant. Wouldn't recommend it. It sucked thoroughly. But I've done a lot of extracts, and my personal opinion, that is very much just my personal opinion, don't do them. Because the stuff is not regulated, and I think it should be to some extent, you don't have any idea how potent one is to the other. They'll have some measurements, but it's like kind of wacky and not consistent. And sometimes, like with this, it just doesn't even feel like kratom. It kind of felt, this one sucked. I'm not saying it's not kratom. It's just, it doesn't feel great in my opinion. Oh, and I have one final point with this whole kratom thing and all of them. Do not say the phrase, it's not a drug, it's a medicine, because that's dishonest. It's dishonest not because it's not true. It is. A lot of kratom and kava and amanita, it can be very medicinal for a lot of people, but the problem with people saying it's not a drug, it's this, is that it misleads people into thinking that their constant use of it is medicinal when it's not. In the beginning of the opioid crisis, you saw a lot of people use the idea of, well, I have such chronic pain, my back, my whatever, so I need this oxy or whatever to deal with that pain.
Since I've been on this new pain medication, I have not missed one day of work.
But you saw how that all panned out. It only leads down one route.
I lost my job and I lost my insurance. Unbelievable, excruciating, horrible time of my life. The withdrawals were just unbelievable.
I suppose my point is, it's okay to get high, but be honest, and also moderation is your best friend. But now it is time for maybe the weirdest plants of them all, Kanna. Wow. If I had to guess, you've probably never heard of Kanna. I'd never heard of Kanna. It's very unwell known in the West and actually around the whole world, except for if you are from where this is from. Kanna is the traditional drug of choice of the Khoi and the San People of South Africa. To give you an idea of how old this practice is, here's an account of a Dutch settlement in South Africa in the late 1600s. I've often seen the effects of Kanna upon the Hottentots. I believe that's an offensive term for the Khoi and the San. They chew and retain it a considerable time in their mouths, but taking generally too much of it at a time, it drowns them in intoxications. They chew it not long before the spirit's visibly rife. They will give almost anything in exchange for it, and any of them run 20 miles upon an errand or perform a hard day's work for a very small bit of it. Sounds like a fun time. You can see from this account that this stuff is kind of an accelerant. It seems like it invigorates the people who take it and gives them energy. Though it's very hard to find information on it, this is what I could gather about the active chemicals in it.
Boring. If you're that much of a nerd and you want to know the stuff, just leave a comment. I will respond to your comment with all the nerdy shit.
Many people will get the leaves, make a tea, and they use it as an all-natural antidepressant or just mood-lifting, but this is an extract, and you have to insufflate it.
3 weeks later.
I've been procrastinating about insufflating this for weeks now. It's time. I don't want to do this. Got me a milligram scale. I'm not going to show this on camera, because, nah. Oh! It smells a bit raisiny. Okay, let's dose it out. I don't want to do this. Okay, hold up. I put it on my phone, and now I have a $1 bill. Again, this is 100% legal. Oh, God. Is it recording? I'm not doing this more than once.
Oh, I say that now.
Cheers. Doesn't, oh, that's weird. Doesn't sting or feel like anything. It's just, wow, I don't feel a damn thing. Did I just snort dirt? Okay, I guess we wait. Should I take more? That's a rookie mistake, Meta. No, no, no. And I feel nothing. It's been 5 minutes. I feel like I should feel something. I should be feeling something. This is, wait. I think I feel it. Could be placebo. It's not strong enough to tell, but I feel a little weird. I feel kind of tingly? Not tingly. Sensitive to touch. Touch feels kind of nice. Call my roommate. Hey, Siri.
Please leave your...
What a whore. I don't know how to describe this. Oh no, I'm feeling it. Ooh, it's like psychedelic kind of. I feel warm. My head feels like strange. This is kind of weirdly nice. Ooh, I'm gonna try playing bass. I wanna see how that feels. Ooh. This is weirdly cool. I like this. I didn't expect to like this. This is weird. I get how people can't describe it. It's kind of like MDMA, but it feels less intense, less super chemical. It feels organic. I don't know, that's not a really good thing to say. It's just, it feels natural, and it's not like Adderall. It's not like, you know, like speed or things like that where it like amps you up. Like, I feel chill. I feel like excited and happy and like optimistic, and I'm just like, life's good. I'm a little horned up. I could definitely go for some sex right now, for sure.
Okay, fair warning. I started to feel it at this point, so the next section is gonna be some crackhead shit. Just giving you a warning. Have fun.
I've been playing bass for like 6 months, and I'm obsessed with it. It's the best thing ever.
I am home.
You gotta try this shit, bro. Will be worth my while.
Then he's hurting on my dime.
Where's it at?
Your
Broadcasting?
hands are...
I know, it's silicone.
Oh, you fucking dick.
I haven't snorted anything in a while.
Yeah, this is the most painful shit.
No, it isn't. Are you serious? Am I gonna want to call my
no, I'm
piece of
kind of
meat?
horny.
Ah, okay, I'm down. Meta, you look
In
so
you
hot on camera.
Really?
Yeah, but like you need to work on that redness, honey.
Come on, get your dinner.
Oh my god! Actually, I really like that taste.
Oh god, get your dirty hands off it. Right? It doesn't even sting at all.
You said it stings.
Yeah, I was lying to you. Why are you crying?
I don't know.
Pussy.
How should we just start it?
Oh
my god, I'm gonna call my fucking dick appointment.
guy?
Yeah.
Yay, I love it. Guy. He's a good guy. Okay, Alan, okay. They already think I'm gay. You're not gonna help me. How are you feeling?
I feel like the Molly.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of feels like Molly.
You've done Molly?
Nope.
This is Molly.
Right? We found our new problem. And cheers, gentlemen. Oh, okay. Okay, that stung a little bit.
You're such a little bitch.
No, he's whatever he's saying. Don't listen to that shit. That doesn't sound like.
Two, this light makes me look kind of stupid.
Okay.
Surprise, bitch.
How's it feel?
You're like, I want to get
Oh my god, can't use that. Oh, he's a weird guy.
I feel like euphoric. I think if I do a little, like, more, like a higher dose, I'll definitely get anxiety.
Okay, interesting. As you saw, me and Alan had a lot of fun. It's a really weird thing. So you're gonna, for 5-10 minutes after doing it, you're not gonna feel anything. And then after that, you're gonna get this rush, right? And you're just like, whoa. And then for about 15-20 minutes for us, we felt the effects strong. And then after that, it just kind of dwindled. And to the point of like an hour or two later, most of the effects are gone. You feel a little bit elevated, but not for too long. I know some of you might be thinking, ooh, I want to try that. Before you think that, I want you to know that this type of stuff, yes, this Kanna has been done for centuries. Literally, it's very, very old. But insufflating an extract is not very old. So we have no idea how this is going to affect you long term. And the addiction potential is pretty high. Let me tell you, you can go on Reddit and there's some people who definitely have a problem with it. So it's by no means like, oh, this is just the best. Be careful. Oh, remember in the beginning of the video where I bring up the mandragora plant? That was a little bit of clickbait. So the mandrake plant, the European mandrake, was actually quoted. I found out about it through the book about the Khoi San and the Kanna, right? They bring up basically comparing it like, ooh, Kanna is basically mandragora. No. Mandragora is pretty dangerous. It's a deliriant. If you look into the active chemicals, which is very hard to find, essentially you're gonna go crazy for like sometimes up to 3 days. Like some people lose their mind after doing deliriants. I do not do them. They're not fun. Even in the ancient times, people were like, yeah, be scared of that. I just thought it'd be a good, like, get your attention kind of bait, but it's not that interesting of a plant. It is very potent, but it is not fun and potentially deadly. So, but that is the video. Luckily, I do not have a big following on YouTube yet. So if you watch this video and you have any questions about any of this, safety questions, just hit me up on Instagram. It's all in the lower section, the description. Don't be a stranger. This type of stuff is one of my deep passions. I love studying this type of stuff. So ask me all the questions you want. And if you got anything out of this video, please Cash App or Venmo me. I don't get paid for YouTube yet, so come on now. Just $1, maybe.